In 2015, it was estimated that there were at least 1,181 Indigenous women and girls in Canada known to either have been missing or murdered. If you remember anything from the next 1 minute, remember that number, 1,181.
Ani bonjour, wache, Riley Yesno, Indigenous, Eabametoong First Nation, Nintonche, St. John's, Newfoundland, Nindonjaba, Niminweya, Kintash. So I am graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts and Science in Indigenous Studies and Political Science. And I'm coming right back around to do my PhD in Political Science. I'm also right now working with the Federal LGBTQ Secretariat to create Canada's first ever LGBTQ action plan. And I'm writing a book right now actually called The Reconciliation Generation. When I was completing high school in Northern Ontario, is where I'm from, it was around that time in my life that I was appointed to the Prime Minister's Youth Council. And so suddenly I went from student council meetings to sitting at a table with the Prime Minister. Had never voted in an election, really thought that Justin Trudeau was my Kim Kardashian, the coolest person that it could possibly be. And then, so there was definitely a very romantic version of what politics was, about how effective politics was as a change-making vehicle, elected politicians. And now I see value in policy as a tool of harm reduction. And what I mean by that is that I don't think that any of the mechanisms we have in Canada are set up to build the changes that I want to see for my community. So as an Indigenous person, as a queer person, a big thing we talk about is land back, returning land, reparations in big, meaningful ways. And I'm not convinced that Canada is or will be anytime soon willing and able to do that. I am the first generation of Indigenous young people who have never attended a residential school. If the last one closed in 97, I was born in 99, We also grew up with the Apology, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And so a very different political Indigenous affairs landscape than my parents or my grandparents, certainly. And yet Indigenous youth, very largely proclaim reconciliation is dead. I think Indigenous people have long been leading the way. I think we're only now just beginning to get to a period where non-Indigenous people are really willing and seeking out those recommendations. I think as we move forward, we can't have any of this restoration of relationships or rebuilding or reimagining without at first being am I willing to let go of the stories that I've told myself and I've been told? And am I willing to listen to the stories that we put in its place, even if they're really ugly and they really make me feel bad?
What makes a good country is all of us waking up every single day and deciding to build that good country with our words and with our actions.